There is a specific look people get when they think they are discarding something broken. It's a mix of pity and relief. It's the look you give a pair of old shoes before you toss them in the dumpster. That was the look my wife, Vanessa, was giving me across the mahogany conference table. "Just sign it, Mark," she said, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "It's better this way. You have no job, no savings. You can't afford this marriage anymore. I'm doing you a favor by making this a clean break." She was right about two things. I had lost my job as a senior sales director exactly 3 weeks ago, and I had no savings left because I had liquidated our joint account to give her the lump sum settlement she demanded to speed up this divorce. But she was wrong about the rest. She thought I was signing my death warrant. She thought she was escaping a sinking ship to go run off with the man who fired me, her secret lover, my former boss, Todd. She didn't know that the sinking ship she was jumping off of was actually a golden yacht. She didn't know that inside the inner pocket of my cheap, worn-out blazer, sitting right next to my heart, was a slip of thermal paper dated the day before I was fired. She was leaving me for a man worth maybe $2 million. I was sitting on $148 million. I looked at the divorce papers that contained a specific clause her greedy lawyer insisted on. Both parties waive all rights to future assets or income discovered after the date of signing. I uncapped the pen. "You're sure about this, Vanessa?" I asked. "For better or for worse?" "The worse is here, Mark. Sign the paper." So I did, and the moment the ink dried, I became the richest single man in the state, and she became the biggest fool in history. To understand the sweetness of the revenge, you have to taste the bitterness of the life I had before. 3 weeks ago, on a Tuesday, my life was falling apart. The rumors at work were swirling. My numbers were down because my boss, Todd, kept reassigning my best accounts. I sensed the axe was falling. On my way home, I stopped for gas. I had $20 left in my weekly allowance. Yes, allowance. Vanessa controlled the finances. The clerk, an old guy named Sal, pointed to the Powerball sign. "Jackpot's high tonight, Mark. $148 million. You feeling lucky?" I wasn't. But I bought a quick pick anyway. Wednesday morning, the day the world ended and began again. Vanessa was rushing around, wearing a red dress I bought her. She told me she had dinner with clients that night. She slammed the door, leaving me alone with my coffee. I pulled out my phone to check the lottery numbers. I didn't expect anything. 04, match. 11, match. 18, match. 22, match. 39, match. Powerball. 07. I didn't scream. I went into shock. I sat there for 20 minutes, checking the numbers again. $148 million. I was free. I started laughing hysterically. I imagined telling Vanessa. I imagined us paying off the mortgage, traveling to Italy. I was about to call her. My thumb hovered over her name. But then my phone rang. It wasn't Vanessa. It was Todd, my boss. "Todd, get in here. We need to talk. Now." I put the ticket in a Ziploc bag and taped it to my chest, under my undershirt. I drove to work with a secret smile, ready to quit in the most spectacular way possible. But when I walked into his office, Todd didn't offer me a seat. "Mark," he said, smoothing his tie, "we're letting you go, effective immediately." He told me I wasn't an alpha male. He told me I was a placeholder. And then he smirked. "Honestly, I don't know how you held on to anything for this long. Your job, your accounts, your wife." My blood ran cold. "What did you say about my wife?" Todd laughed. "Don't act surprised. Vanessa needs a man who can give her the world. She's leaving you, Mark. She's filing the papers today. She didn't want to tell you until I fired you. She thought it would be cleaner if you hit rock bottom all at once." It hit me like a freight train. The clients she was meeting tonight? It was him. It had always been him. My wife wasn't just leaving me, she was leaving me for the man who was firing me. I looked at the severance check for $5,000, and then I felt the crinkle of the plastic bag taped to my chest. $148 million. I could have ended him right there. I could have pulled out the ticket and laughed in his face. But if I told them now, Vanessa was still my wife. She was entitled to half. Todd would win. He would get the woman and half my fortune.
No, they wanted me to be a loser? I would be the biggest loser they had ever seen. Until I wasn't. I drove home in silence. I walked in, and Vanessa was sitting on the couch with packed suitcases. She didn't look sad. She looked annoyed. "Todd told me," she said. "I can't do this anymore. Todd is taking me to Paris next week, first class." "Paris?" I asked. "With what money?" "No, Mark, you have debt," she said. "I'm filing for divorce. Since you're unemployed now, I won't ask for alimony, but I want the buyout. I know you have about $40,000 in your 401k. I want that. Liquidate it. Give me the cash, and I'll sign the house over to you. I want a clean break, cash in hand, by Friday." She was trying to strip me bare. She wanted my retirement fund to go shop in Paris with my boss. But if I fought her, the divorce would drag on, and I couldn't claim the ticket. I needed her gone now. "Okay," I said, "I'll give you the cash. But I want it in writing. You take the cash, you leave the house, and we sign a waiver. No future claims. Complete separation of assets, effective today." She smirked. "Mark, you don't have any future assets, but sure." The next 3 weeks were hell. I had to sell the illusion. I slept on the floor. I ate ramen. I stopped shaving. I needed to look broken. I hired the best asset protection attorney in the city, paying with a credit card I nearly maxed out. I told him the truth. "Let's make it less risky," my lawyer said. "We'll add a bad faith clause. If either party challenges the settlement later, they are liable for penalties." Vanessa signed it without reading. She was too busy packing for Paris. Which brings us back to the table. The ink was dry. The judge signed the decree 3 days later. It was done. I was divorced. I was unemployed. I was alone in an empty house. And I was worth $148 million. I claimed the prize via a blind trust. After taxes, the wire transfer hit my account 48 hours later. $84 million. I didn't buy a Ferrari. Not yet. First, I had to deal with Todd. Remember how I said my numbers were down at work because Todd was reassigning my accounts? I had kept a log, but I found something else during those late nights before I was fired. Todd wasn't just reassigning accounts, he was embezzling. He was overcharging clients and diverting the difference into a shell company. I bought a majority stake in the company. It sounds impossible, but the stock was low. I used a shell corporation to buy 15% of the shares, enough to get a meeting with the board of directors. I walked into the board meeting 2 weeks after my divorce. Todd laughed. "Security! Mark, you're trespassing. Go beg for change somewhere else." "Actually, Todd, I'm not here to beg. I'm here to vote." The chairman nodded at me. "Todd, sit down. Mark represents the Phoenix Trust, our newest major shareholder." Todd's face went white. I threw a file on the table. "This," I said, "is proof that the director of sales has been embezzling funds for 3 years. And, interestingly enough, He's been using company funds to pay for first-class trips to Paris with his mistress. I moved for his immediate termination and legal prosecution. Todd was escorted out of the building by the same security guard who had escorted me out. As he passed me, he hissed, "Vanessa will never believe this. She hates you." "Tell her I said hello." I smiled.
The news of the lottery win broke a week later. I couldn't keep it secret forever. Laid-off salesman wins jackpot. I hosted a party at my new penthouse. Champagne, caviar, the works. At 11 p.m., the buzzer rang. It was Vanessa. She walked into the party like a ghost. She saw the opulence. She saw me wearing a $5,000 suit. She walked right up to me. "Mark," she said, tears forming. "Todd is in jail. They took everything. Why didn't you tell me about the money?" "Tell you?" I said. "You filed for divorce the day after I won. You made it very clear that you wanted a clean break. You wanted the cash buyout, remember? You waived all future claims." "But we were married. That ticket, it belongs to us. It's marital property." "Actually," I said, "my lawyer says the bad faith clause you signed is pretty airtight. And since the decree is final, you're just a stranger trespassing in my home." She screamed that she would sue me. "You left me because I lost my job, Vanessa. You cheated on me with my boss. You stripped my 401k dry so you could go on vacation with him. You didn't leave because of fraud. You left because you're a gold digger who dug in the wrong spot." I leaned in close. "I would have given you the world, Vanessa. I won that ticket on Tuesday. I was going to surprise you, but you couldn't wait 24 hours to stab me in the back?" She collapsed, crying. Real tears this time. Tears of lost millions. I called security and had her shown out. She tried to sue, of course, but the judge upheld the waiver. She got nothing. Actually, she got less than nothing. She had to pay my legal fees. Todd is serving 5 years for embezzlement. Vanessa is working as a receptionist, living in a studio apartment. Me? I started a venture capital firm. I hired Sal, the guy from the convenience store, as my head of security. I'm single, I'm cautious, but I'm happy. Every now and then, I look at that photocopy of the divorce decree, the one where she signed away $84 million for a $40,000 payout, and I remember the most expensive lesson I ever learned. Loyalty isn't about being there when the champagne is flowing. It's about who stays when the glass shatters. She left when the glass broke, so I bought the winery